All right, well, we're no longer unwanted. We are wanted. Let's go ahead and get started. I saw 30 Day Reviews had his hand up, so go ahead and 30 Day Reviews, feel free to raise that hand and let's get started. I am assuming you left a review. That's how we get started here. So let me go ahead. Content feedback. What is 30 days looking for? If you haven't, we're going to have to skip and come back.
Good afternoon.
Have you left a review?
Yes, I did.
All right, time to find.
Left it on Van Life channel that had
Perfect.
requested one, I think, last week or in the last few days. Something like that.
So, what are you looking for in your channel review?
All right. Well, first off, I need a new channel name, man. And I cannot figure it out. So I've had both D, Nick, and oh, what's the name? The one with the long hair.
Daniel.
Daniel.
Daniel, there you go. I've had all three of them tell me that my 30-day reviews is not good enough and that it doesn't say anything about men's grooming. Well, every idea that I've came across, including using ChatGPT, either I didn't like or was already used.
All right.
And then my video um, titles, I'm not so sure that I'm rocking those as well as I normally could be or should be.
So, on the name, I understand the idea that it's not really about men's grooming per se. I believe, if I remember correctly, you originally were reviewing a lot more before you like honed in on men's grooming,
Yeah,
correct?
you before it was my random reviews 411 was my original name. And then because I couldn't think up anything grooming and I was still going to dabble in a few other things, which I may still stay on like clothing and stuff and men's grooming, like, but I might go into, some like belts and shoes eventually or whatever, right? So I don't want to be strictly, uh, neck up grooming, I guess.
Sure.
And so therefore I changed to the 30-day reviews because it's something that I do that is different than a lot of other reviewers or reviewers anyway. When I first started this channel almost 9 years ago now, uh, where a lot of people were just using a product once or twice and then doing their review on it, where I think that hair especially needs a little bit of time to get used to a new product.
Sure.
So, and same with your skin and razors and everything else. So,
Well, I have to say thank you because I actually have used a few of your reviews to find shaving cream. So,
yeah,
on
well,
that on that alone, thank you. I do see the struggle, and I understand that you found a unique niche, but you don't want your channel name to put you in such a place that you can't expand out of it. Am I right?
yep.
So, what I would say, and what I think you do very well, and I think that a couple of things that I do like the name 30 Day Reviews, but I get that it's hard for YouTube to necessarily. YouTube might be seeing it more as like general reviews than what you're doing specific, which is probably the reason for the name change. So,
I think that might be kind of holding my channel back because of that. And I don't think that it may be because I think to me, it seems like YouTube puts a lot more on the channel name than what it wants to admit.
yes, it absolutely does. But,
And so
you
I
know,
think that you're completely right on that. It's just looking at it, especially with the past history that's not completely deleted off my channel, but isn't viewable on my channel.
sure.
It still may get confused sometimes about what my channel is, even though it's been like 4 years since I did any other content on this channel. But algorithms.
Yeah, it be algorithming. That's what I always say. What I will say, I think the 30-day reviews is a unique way that you review that maybe to keep that heritage alive, if people still search that way, you make the title of a show. So it is, I give this product 30 days. And so that becomes, instead of losing it from your brand and identity, because I do like your 30-day reviews, I agree with you. It is hard to make an informed decision right away. And that's why a lot of times I personally, when I get reached out to a review, they're like, yeah, we want you to look at it for a day and then let us know what you think. I'm like, a day? I don't know how this is going to work long term. So
Yeah,
I think
I've had companies that'll be like, "Hey, we're doing this, thing in the next 2 weeks. You want to review this for us?" Sure, I'll review it for you, but no, it's not going to come out in the next 2 weeks.
And I also think that maybe if by changing your name and 30-day reviews, it can be a segment, and by it being its own show, you can give impressions a little bit more easily. You can build content watch loops and have easy ways to look at a product in different lights. So I think that by changing your name, it gives you more freedom. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you about, I do understand, I would personally recommend getting away from men's grooming only because YouTube's AI has proven time and time again it is a hard time distinguishing. And I understand completely what you mean by men's grooming, but grooming alone has a different context. And
Yeah, like three.
yeah,
You got
so
dog and pet grooming. You got
the
the other grooming, and then you got you know men's better looking
yes, and
grooming.
I do think that, you want to focus kind of on what Ike said, men's care.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I
I
could definitely go towards that instead.
I think what one thing you could do is keeping in that, men's care is that, believe it or not, men's fashion, men's just grooming, men's everything, and I know this is underserved. Like when you look it up, you get mostly ads, and most of the ads don't fit most guys. They fit what they think we are, which is usually like, if you like trucks and guns and beer on a football game in February. I'm like, that's
Yeah,
not really me. But I appreciate that you have a target audience. I do
I
see
kind of
fine,
have a target audience.
but the thing,
That's another problem with my channel.
but it's not a bad thing to have that kind of target audience.
Right.
I would say you just want your name to give you the option to be clear in your niche, but not lock you in on your niche.
Yeah.
Um, I do kind of like men's care because that gets anything, but I'm not sure if that's taken. I do
I'm sure.
like,
I'm sure it is within certain bounds.
well, I mean, there's only one way. Men's care tips, I mean, sometimes it's so simple it's not been taken.
Yeah.
And I see, I mean, like, there's a lot that goes specific. Let's go on a channel level and filter, and that way we can, see.
Yeah. I think that's the only way that you're going to be able to go with actually finding a.
There, what I would say would be the bigger thing is that Dove already kind of has men, like they could use this
Yeah.
against. So because Dove is here, I'd stay away. But I like that idea.
Well, there's men's plus care.
Yeah, but they could say that they own the right to men. Like, there's some, I've seen lawyers get involved for sillier things.
That's well. See, that's the thing is that it couldn't just be men's care. It'd have to be something else with men's care in the title because you can't take two words and say that they're yours.
True. Otherwise, you can get into some really dicey territory.
Right.
It could be men's care and
Yeah. So
reviews
you
if you
already got men's care. Got men's care ways. And
men's care,
not many
men.
other straight men's care. Yeah, and then there's a men's care. All is one word, and then you've got like all the different iterations already taken in that anyway, which I don't know if I'd really want to be just that anyway. And then you got
Sure.
men's care monthly, which for some reason only has one subscriber. It's like I just want to take some of these titles. Like I ran into like 3 or 4 channel names that I really liked. None of them have been used in the last like 5 years.
So, what were the channel
But
names
I'm
you
just
liked?
like, I don't even remember. Honestly, I haven't looked into this for like 5 or 6 months now because I get frustrated with it every time.
Well, what's the channel names that you liked?
That's things I don't even remember.
I would say that
ADD.
for any channel name change, you have to really love it long term. Like obviously I'm terrible at channel names. I just went with my name. But I would say things that like Weekend Game was my gaming channel and people liked it because it stood out to them and it was just Can with a K and people would recommend it. Like my own name was searched. I think 30 Day Reviews is a really good name in that regard. I would
So,
say
which is why I like it, and I don't want to get rid of it. But I was thinking about making 30-day reviews my Amazon thing because I review anything up there. But
so. Why not men's care and reviews?
too generic
Sure.
and too long.
You just make it men's cave. Instead of man
No,
cave, it's men's cave, and it's all
I'm
about
pretty
care.
sure that one's already taken.
I can't imagine it isn't.
30-day
Isn't,
men's care. I thought about that one.
the men's cave, yeah, it's taken.
Picospace,
Well,
and that one is, I don't know. There's just something about it that I'm not a huge fan of. Don't really know what I would do for the thumb or for the um, graphic or anything as well.
I mean, the men's cave is about all I'm seeing, but yeah, I would say the name is hard, and it's one of those things where I think 30-day reviews limits you a little too much, and
Yeah,
I
I
know that
think it
you.
does too, and I've noticed that it does because, like, that's why I used to only do reviews, and then both Dee and Nick were like, "No, stop it."
But
Like do other videos too, so I
you
started
have
doing
such a
that.
unique problem. Your videos are good, but you're limited by the name.
Yeah, yeah, and the knowledge. To be honest with you, I'm an everyday man, so like I'm not standing in front of the mirror for 3 hours before I go to work, or putting on a suit or any of that kind of stuff. So I knew you were gonna type that. I've tried it. Believe me,
It's
I
such a
have
good.
tried it. Andrew, I know. And that's why I'm having the trouble with it. But every time that I talk to any of those other guys, they're all like, "You're doing good on your channel, but the name is holding you back." I'm like, "I know, I can't think of anything." And then they'll be like, "Oh, well, how about this? How about this? How about this?" I'm like, "It's already taken," or there's something already way too close to it.
The everyday guy.
Yeah,
There is.
name checker is a pretty good one. I used that when I had set up my website, which I do have, but don't really do anything with it right now. It's only like 3 years behind. Uh,
Well, what if we combine everyday's men's care? Everyday driver, regular car review, car wizard. I mean, everyday men's care or car, that's my bad. Like ideally, anytime people look at your review, like it's for everyday men's care. No result? Really? Nothing?
did you spell something wrong?
I don't know. There's nothing? I doubt that. Um
That
everyday
most
men's.
stuff I do isn't every day.
Well, here's the thing. You have enough videos where they could do it every day.
That's true.
So like that's the angle.
Uh,
I have enough videos that you can watch every day. And it's everyday men's care. It doesn't need to be every day, but it's like,
Pico,
men.
I appreciate that last suggestion, but absolutely not.
I wrote car, I know.
Manly men makeup. No.
It'll be menly men. You're just gonna be, you know, really. You're just like 1.5 everyday men, instead of 2.5 men.
Yeah.
But I do think that this goes into importance of when you do a channel review or you think about your channel. It goes into the importance of a name.
Yep.
And I think that I don't hate everyday men's care. It is an option. I think
Yeah.
that men's care is in it, and it talks about like every day is a chance for you to get into men's care. And I think that's what I'd kind of angle that, because most men do not take care of themselves. I am guilty. And the stats on men and like even just like basic care is very low. And it's like a lot of times people are like, why don't men do more? It's like, well, who the hell told us? So just some thoughts there. But I do think that, keep pitching them in the Discord. Like I'm more than happy to like help in any way, and I know our community would be too. I think that, you know what you need to change. It's just finding a name.
Always open to suggestions on here and off.
All right. Well, while we're here, you said you also wanted me to look at a video I could take a look at really quick.
Yeah, mostly the titles. Eventually, I'll have you look at my video format, and see what you think, because I think that could probably get changed up a bit too. But
I think out of these titles and even looking at the views for the last batch, this one is super compelling. It's simple, but I think that it pulls off what you're going for. I would maybe in the titling here switch this to be Brio V1 versus V2 instead, the new Brio V2 maybe you put. What's the difference? Again, keeping that thing that the audience would be interested in, that YouTube could be like
search
people.
titles, search title first.
Mm-hmm. And then are you linking in the description this video, Brio V2?
I don't remember if I did or not.
Well, it's time to look under the curtain. Popular reviews, mustache wax. I don't see it.
Oh no, not under that. If it is, it's going to be at the end card and the.
iCard. Don't love that YouTube puts you at the bottom now.
Oh, I know what happened with that one. That one wasn't a normal video, so I didn't do all that extra stuff. It was like a middle of the week 3-minute video, so I didn't do much with that one. That's why there's not any of that stuff to it. I need to do that, but
I would also put the hashtag for Brio V1, Brio V2, and then your channel name. Obviously, if you're switching it, maybe not right away, but I also want to look at the transcript, because one thing I can say is like, so you're looking at getting a Brio trimmer, but you're not sure if you should get version 1 or version 2. Perfect. You mentioned what you have in the end of your title right here. A lot of people, and hopefully with transcript being more publicly available, and this is, I'm assuming you didn't put this in, this is YouTube's auto one instead of like captions you generated. Actually, I don't need to know. It says here, auto generated. So I would say that this isn't bad. It's just the part that YouTube could find an easier audience for will be the bottom part for you. And it's just remembering that when YouTube is looking to find the right audience, ideally, they have, you put Brio, which is what YouTube could latch onto up front, and then what's the difference later. Does that all
yeah,
make sense?
yeah. And if you look at most of mine, I usually do it right, or I try to do it right most of the time. But yeah, I'll get that switched around.
All right, I'm gonna have to give you an F minus.
Oh,
Just
how?
kidding. I've known you for a while. I
Ouch.
think you know I'm not real. I would say genuinely though, that's really nitpicky, and I say Nick because shout outs to Nick Nimmin. I give you a solid A. I think it's just finding that name. I think that
Still not
the what was
anyway.
that?
Still not that A plus. Dang it. Anyway,
The A plus is hard to come by. It's because I
I
know you
know.
know better. I know you know better.
I know.
But no,
Oh,
as always, I've appreciated one, the support over the years, the actual help from your videos, and again, if you ever need it, just post here. We got you. We'll
yep.
help.
Do. Thank you much.
All right, and with that, we will bring on the next person. Thank you, 30 days.
Yep.
All right, I see. I'm gonna look at the chat. Who put up their hand first? All right, it was Pico, so I will invite you to speak. We'll see. See how this goes.
Hello. Can you hear
Hello,
me?
good to hear from you. Yes, I
All right.
can.
Yay, it's me. Also, Ember Sky Media, but I had to pick one on Discord, and since Discord has a bigger group in one, I changed it, so that's why it's Picospace Industries. Although somebody may have known me from Ember Sky Media, I'm the same person. But yeah, my question, I guess, is going to be: so I have two channels. Yeah, it's
Yes.
this should I rebrand thing? It's very similar to like on the lines of I'm trying to think of how to do it because I've gotten feedback from people that when they go to Ember Sky Media or they hear Ember Sky Media, they hear the word media and they think, okay, but they're not really sure what media I'm talking about and they don't understand the very clever Ember Sky is, you look up in the night sky and the little stars are like burning embers, but that apparently goes over 99% of people's heads. So I'm trying to think of a rebrand on that because I want something that's going to be more yes, this channel is about photography. Yes, I'm going to travel places. Yes, I'm going to take pictures of the night sky, and all this other stuff while I go on these adventures. But not have it where people are watching it because I'm noticing I'm getting a lot of watch time, and like views and stuff. But I'm not getting necessarily the conversion that I'd like over time.
And this is on Ember Sky Media specifically?
Yeah, because Picospace Industries is the target audience knows who I am because for the one game I started modding and then the second game I'm working on it, I've made enough of a splash that people know who I am on that, so I don't worry about that one. But this one here, like I've been doing more birding and wildlife, because it's the summer and trying to do astronomy in the summer is a major pain in the butt. Possibly, like I have another small telescope theoretically coming probably in the next week or two. From another company that I'll do. So it's similar to the one I reviewed last year, but like a new model from another company. So I'll have that for some of the astronomy stuff. But the rest of the stuff is basically Micro Four Thirds, traveling around, and me diving into my network array storage and converting a lot of the photos and videos I picked up from my travels for like 25 countries that I'm going to sort of put into there as to how to sort of do different types of photography and things that you need to know, and then some camera guides and stuff. So a lot more photography than obviously in the video format.
Sure.
So,
So
and yeah, go ahead.
with all that said, your people aren't understanding the Ember Sky Media part. They're getting a little
Yeah.
lost on media. They're getting lost on one is the thing is this joke is so clever, but I said it a little earlier in the stream. It's that if you have to explain the joke, it kind of sucks. Even though once you get it, it's great.
Yeah.
So I would say, is there any? So what is the? Obviously, Ember Sky Media is the current name. I would say
Yeah.
everything I think you have it really right here, is with outdoor adventures, which gives you a lot of. The adventures gives you a lot of flexibility in what
Mhm.
you're doing. It doesn't limit you to night sky. I think that's where you can have it in the about. You can have it in the channel banner, but what I mean, I almost wonder what would Ember Adventures be like, because I feel like that fits everything you're trying to do. Now, I don't know if it fits the photography aspect
Well, that's why I
perfectly.
was thinking something like Ember Photo Adventures or something like that. But again, I don't want it to make too long and stuff.
I
One
feel like
second.
Ember Adventures for me is like super easy to recommend. Like, hey, I check out Ember Adventures. Ember Photo Adventures might be, to your point, a little long, but let's go ahead and check
Yeah.
out Ember Adventures in general.
There's one person with 35 subscribers that's like an 8-year-old girl.
Well, she's not even old
And,
enough to
and,
be on the platform.
and
Papa,
then she has
2. I'm just kidding.
Adventures with Embers, and then like she has two channels for some reason. But yeah, they have like only I now no offense to anybody, but if you don't have at least 1,000 subscribers, I tend not to worry too much about their content name because they're probably not that big on here. Yeah, like they made videos from 11 months to 7 months. So I don't know. Although I don't necessarily want to step on people's toes. It's like 8 videos, I think, or something.
You have beef with an 8-year-old, it would be a unique channel issue, I
Well,
would say.
well, yeah, I know, but you don't want to step on anyone's toes. But
I
there's
understand.
like but at the same time it's like
I understand
it's not
completely.
a huge channel sort of thing that I would overly worry about. Then the rest of them seem to be campers, so there's probably
Mhm.
some, yeah, it's the name of some type of camper or something.
I feel like you could definitely do Ember Adventures and be fine. I think it is kind of keeps the legacy heritage, and if people ask about Ember, you can explain that, and it's a cool if you know thing. And I think the culture on the internet is if you know, people really like the ability to dive deeper. It's the like I've made that mistake before with a channel name where you're like I called a channel way back in the day We Can Help. Help became
Mm-hmm.
so broad that like YouTube couldn't figure out what the hell it was.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Ember Adventures gives you that inside of it's about like embers in the night sky. And it's like, oh, and Adventures is so clear anyway. If you really wanted to, you could include outdoor adventures. But again, if you ever are indoors, it's like, well, how does this revolve? Because you're going to get that one guy. There's
Oh
always that
yeah.
one guy. But I think Ember Adventures, to your point, one, that channel technically has a parental permission. There's a lot of laws happening right now about kids, even being on the internet. So I think if you wanted to, you could have Ember's Adventures, or even, you could do. I don't hate photo adventures, but I understand why not putting it in
Mm-hmm.
would make sense. It could be Ember Sky Adventures, but again, it gets to your point of too long. I think Ember's Adventures is perfect. It's easy to recommend and share. And to your point, that channel is not active and it's not too far from where you are already. I actually really like that name. And I'm curious to what other people think too. And what you think.
Yeah, I'm not against it. The only issue I'm gonna have is like say a year down the road, somebody say, well, your name's not Ember. Where'd that come from? And I say, well, it came from like, embers in the night sky, because I do a lot of like night photography and another like anyway, yeah, a bunch of like night photography, which is what the channel was originally based on. And I still have like astrophotography content coming up, but there's a certain point where, for me personally, I've gotten to that point where I'm like, with what I have, I can enjoy it and go out and take pictures and stuff, but I can't necessarily go out and make absolutely amazing photos without like dropping another $5,000 on it. And I'm like, there's a lot of other stuff I can do for a lot less money with what I currently have that isn't necessarily like, here's hardcore astrophotography, which if I'm doing that, I'd have to put astro in the title, because if you don't have astro in the title, it goes over everyone's head apparently.
Well, I mean, you have the authority to be like, it's my channel, this is what it is. And then if they don't like it, there's the door. I mean, I think Ember's Adventures gives you a lot of like adventures can be indoor, outdoor. They can be about photography. They can be about
Yeah.
anything. It's it's specific enough to where if someone says Ember Adventures, I'm gonna remember that. Where if it's like Ember Sky Media Adventures, it's like, oh, what? Your
Yeah.
name not being Ember doesn't matter. Like there are so many YouTubers that don't use their real name. There's so
Right.
many YouTubers that use a pseudonym. Like Swell Entertainment is a very large YouTube channel. Her name is really Amanda, but people understand that she is from Swell Entertainment. So you could say I am from Ember Ember Adventures, like Swell Entertainment, great example. I am Amanda. Like you can really have a lot of authority there. And I think
Yeah.
that Adventures title gives you so much freedom. Also, shout outs to being a Panasonic person. Very few of us these days.
Yeah, I know, and I want to make a video on that, but I'm basically going to be like, hey guys, if you're starting today, you need to go buy a Sony A7 6700
My main thing is why
and
did
do it with
Pan
my Panasonic hat on. Be like, yeah, you should be buying a Sony. Like, I love Panasonic, but it's just there's so few of us. It makes it so hard to like recommend it from a affordable camera product, because like I'm just trying to buy some lenses and I go onto like all the lens stuff and it's just like forget finding them. But anyhow, that's a sidetrack.
Yeah, I understand. For me, it's when they started changing like the lens. Like I like that you can have smaller like Sony just kept the same lens mount across
Hmm.
and like that I'm like that alone for someone who's trying to recommend people like having an upgrade path like that where the lens you buy you can use for the big boy cameras down the line is such an easy recommendation, and kind of what made me upset at Panasonic.
Yeah, them going with the L mount thing was kind of interesting. But like for me, I like Micro Four Thirds because adventures, the less gear I have to carry, the better. I went to Ireland and England on a big trip, and I took a my Nikon Z6 and the 24 to 70 f2.8, and I regretted it the whole time because I'm thinking, going like, this is just a giant lens and a giant camera I'm dragging around everywhere. And the only reason I brought one lens with me is because I was like, I was traveling very light, and I was like, I don't have any more room in my bag.
I understand that gear like weight, fatigue, and sizing can be a pain. But I do want to read some of the chat. Straw Hat Luffy says Ember Sky Adventures could sound really cool. People seem to like that also. So if you want to keep the
Yep.
sky, I think you absolutely could. I agree with what the artist Haven, aka Tish, says. Is back in the day, people thought stars were their ancestors, heart fires, but also Ember could be a nickname too. So
Mm.
I think that is something that Robbae said. And so I think you have a lot of leeway. I would say that for the name, you have some really solid choices. And I think that both of those fit well. And, you don't have to rebrand too much. Like if you do Ember Sky Adventures, like emberskymedia.com can stay and still make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'd recommend.
Oh,
And
I'm like the guy,
yeah.
previous 30-day guy. It's like, yes, I have a website, but it doesn't do very much. It's the nature of I guess websites. They bring in a bit of traffic, but YouTube brings in so much more. Like it's dwarfed my vlog by like 100-fold, if not by now. and
I
that and that and that
understand
and
that.
that website has been on for like 20 years at least.
Wow. Holy.
And it's just like, yeah, these videos just get more views than the photography and stuff, which is why I'm saying like I want to go back and take those pictures and video clips I did and then make basically story essays with them, where it's like, hey, yeah, we're going to this location, check out this neat thing that we did, and then that allows me to dive back into that content, but also make new content obviously as I go forward. But like when I was in what's it called, Africa, I only had a D90, but I knew how to use it. So the pictures are really nice. Would I like to go back? Absolutely. Please sponsor me to Africa.
Hey, I that's how I feel about Australia. If anyone wants to send me back, gladly will go. Please, thank
Yeah.
you. But thank you so much. And I think I
Yep.
will also put some of these ideas we have in the questions, and other folks, please feel free to put some of the comments in the questions. Could you link the should I rebrand? I think it's possible, and if not, it should be pretty high up in questions.
Yeah, because I'm as I said, I'm mainly just trying to figure out what's a good move because I don't want to have to rebrand like every 3, 4, 5 years. It's just a matter of come up with something that allows me to do. I don't want to say whatever, but enough on there that, like as you said, that one guy's not gonna come back and be like, I don't understand why this is here, and go like, oh, geez.
There's always that one guy.
There's
but
always that one guy. Yeah.
But thank you so much. And also, similar to 30 Days, you have been such an amazing part of this community. And I really appreciate just you being here, not only in mine, but like in all of our friends and things like that. So thank you, genuinely.
Oh, you're welcome. And again, thanks for doing these things and trying to give me sort of a wall to bounce balls off of in terms of like ideas and stuff. And I'm always around to help people.
And I think you've proven that in spades. So thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Next up, I think we have Sicshop, if they're still interested.
There's also the Artist's Haven.
Of course. I saw Sicshop raise her hand after, maybe Ember Sky Adventures or Ember Adventures. We'll figure out in time. But guys, it's time for the unwanted sponsor break. Just as important as the actual event today, we gotta thank the nice people at Opus Clip for giving us the ability to do these things, keep the server running, and just have a really great time. Opus Clip makes it so easy for you to go ahead and make different shorts. I actually have been using it quite a lot. It has been helpful. I love their AI tools. I just really appreciate all they're doing. So I'm gonna log in another window because as much fun as it is to dox yourself, let's not. But as we continue on, let us just take a look. These are some of the ones I've actually done. I just like how it uses AI with some keywords you tell it, boosts audience retention with valuable calls. Like in this one stream, I talked about a lot of things that give you clarity on YouTube, and it's done a really good job. Over 25 shorts from 1 hour long live stream. So that is the power of Opus Clip. You can check the affiliate link in the promo section. And I did it within our theme song, Ike. How do you like them apples?
Well, it certainly got shorter, so.
All right, you're right. Let's make it longer. Anyway, welcome to... Just kidding. I'm not gonna, not gonna do that. Could you imagine? The never-ending sponsor read, part of the Unwanted Podcast, the only podcast you didn't sign up for or ask about. I do like Prim Men's Care. And Sicshop, not sure. I sent the invite. If not, we'll go ahead while we're waiting, and I'll invite... You said the artist Haven?
Yes.
All right. Sicshop is typing. You don't have to. You don't actually have to come up stage. You can just type. How do I accept? Well, why don't you request? Because we've had better luck that way. So go ahead and just request. So invited you to speak. There should be a pop-up. Keyword is should.
I think Sicshop is on mobile, so it might have some issue.
Oh yeah.
Because the last time we had that issue.
It was because of mobile people.
Yeah.
It might be because you are on mobile, and I don't know. You think Discord would figure that one out? Like I don't have an answer to that one, sadly.
Yeah, I'll have to test it out on mobile later on, see what's going on.
I do like Prim Men's Care though, because of the prim and proper, and I think it kind of has everything you're looking for. 30-day reviews. So it's going to be 30-day reviews, Prim Men's Care plus Outdoor Adventures Sky Media Can. Got it. It's simple, easy to search for YouTube channel. It's well, it's super short and easy to find. So I think what we can do is Sicshop. I'm so sorry. I don't know why Discord is like this, but if you have a question, you can put it in chat and I can do my best through the chat text and we can kind of talk through it. And if it's already in the content feedback, I can just pull it up too. Going on channel feedback. Don't see Sicshop here. So yeah. How do I suggest doing research? That's a great question. So there are lots of ways that you can do research. So one of my favorite recommendations is through YouTube's own free keyword research feature. A lot of people discount it, but it is actually really good. So if you go to research tab in your analytics, if you have it, if you don't, you can see what your viewers search if there's enough data. You can search for different topics. So let's say I was trying to do a video. I see Scooby-Doo in your profile photo, so I'll just type in Scooby-Doo. It's going to give me an idea of what people are searching for around Scooby-Doo. So Scooby-Doo toilet? That was an unexpected result, but full episodes, Papa, Scooby-Doo, toys, theme song, toilets again. I'm assuming that's a specific thing. Scooby-Doo, where are you? But it gives you an idea of what people are YouTube are searching for. And the reason you want to do that when you're looking at your research is you want to make sure whatever video you make, and again, this would need to be featured in the first section of your title, is good.
Oh,
like
Sicshop got in.
Okay. So far, so good. I don't hear anything.
He's muted.
Okay, you are on mute, but we're making progress. The anticipation, Ike.
Oh, we can just continue.
Well, that would be how I do it, and that's at least in the research, because you want to make sure anything you're looking for. Another way you could do it is through Google Trends. Google Trends lets you look in YouTube search specifically. So, if we're looking up videos around Formula One, since this is kind of trending, you can actually, see a breakdown of it. You can explore by clicking in this. So if we go to Formula, if I can search Formula One, we can go to search term. You can do this by YouTube search specifically. So that's another way that you can do research for free. And then you can see what people are searching for, right? Like they want to know about Australia. They want to know highlights of the year. These are things people are actively interested in. And when you're doing research, what you're trying to do is find what your ideal audience, in this case, maybe Scooby-Doo, Formula One, whatever yours is specifically, want to know around the subject, right? So like earlier we talked about Panasonic cameras. So if we type in Panasonic cameras, right? Like we can see that it has ebbs and flows, but the interest is kind of low. Then it gives that people are looking for more specific cameras. So maybe we dive deeper. And as you can see, these are things that people are looking for that we could talk about. I could make a whole series, right? So this gives you an idea to see what people are also looking for, right? So if I wanted to do a camera comparison, because people are looking for it, I could say Panasonic Lumix G7 versus this one. Every camera here, I could make a detailed video in theory. Obviously, if you don't have the cameras, it's harder. But I have both. For me personally, I have the Sony ZV-E10 and the Lumix G7. I could make a video on that. So you're really just looking for what people are saying in conversation when you're doing research. Like, are people looking for this? Is there engineering? What can I do to make this interesting? That's kind of what you do. I see Robbae is saying, is this like reverse engineering? Absolutely. When you make a YouTube title or you're doing research, this keyword should naturally be in there. I could make a video right now. Is the Panasonic Lumix G7 still worth it? This camera came out a while ago. So that question is valid. And it's something that, the interest of it has stayed pretty high over here on the web. Maybe it's not so high on YouTube, right? Because we're still in web search. So if there's interest that's high on YouTube, I mean, it had a dip, but still pretty decently high. There's a note here. So an improvement of our data collection. So it's still pretty decently high. There are dips, but it gives you an idea. And maybe you're like, okay, what if I compare it to the Sony, ZV-E10? Still doing pretty well. So it gives you an idea. Not sure why you can't unmute, but I hope that was helpful. I can't unmute you myself, or I would. I'm assuming that thanks means it was helpful? Is that what you were reading, Ike?
Yeah.
All right. So sorry, Sicshop. There's some things we can do to make this experience better, and we asked for feedback last time, and we'll make sure to ask again. We're still learning it, but we do appreciate patience. So with that, I think the last person we have is the Artist Haven. So if you want to go ahead and request to come on stage, I'm inviting. Why won't it let me accept? It says allow requests from everyone, invite sent, and then it's grayed out. So weird.
Yeah. I clicked on it first.
Oh, so now they just have to?
Yeah. They should
Okay.
get a pop-up.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay. I've been working on stuff, so I had to set stuff down, and now it wants to fall at me. Okay.
I just wanted to say how nice it was to see you at VidCon like 2 years ago now. It feels like a
Yeah,
lot.
we were VidCon, and were you at Vid Summit too? I can't remember.
I was, but I was helping our friends of the server, StreamYard.
Yeah, that's where I saw you. I remember. I thought I remembered because you taught me how to use on the Samsung Galaxy S22, I think it is. You taught
Yeah.
me that wave trick where you can like wave at the camera and it'll take your picture.
Yeah, you can open your palm. It's called palm
Yeah.
scan detection.
Yeah. You taught me that, and I've been using that thing all the time.
It's like one of those things that look, I like Android phones. I have an iPhone right now. Try to get both. Try to understand the needs of both. But I do see that you have a thread here. You said you've been doing live streams for 4 years, but due to recent breakup, which I'm sorry for, that you moved into a motorhome and will be traveling artist digital nomad. I want to continue the themes of my lives, but create VODs. You're struggling how to integrate traveling artist community into it. Hard to put it all here, but that's your vision. So why is it hard, I guess, would be my question. Because a lot of artists travel these days. So like what's your fears or concerns?
Well, I have my avatar, and I have her defined, and like she has a name, and I actually like have a mental picture of what she looks like, and all the things. Um, I'm just trying to translate, like, um, like we had a show, I call it a show, a live stream, where it was testing Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays Artapalooza, which I'll still be doing the live streams, but because of limited bandwidth, limited data, I only have 100 gig to use for both for work and for my YouTube channel right now. So I have to
Sure.
kind of keep things concise, or be able to go to like a Starbucks and upload a video, or a series of videos. Um, but so Wednesdays, and then Thursdays we did a beginners um, session, on different mediums. And I'm just trying to figure out how to do, if I should keep that kind of format, but how do I, instead of going live every day, and I don't want to be uploading every day either, how can I
How
make that happen without like killing myself? Because I work full time too, and I'm doing training right now for work too. So, and I'll be at Vid Summit this year too. So,
are you at
um,
vidIQ still?
yes,
Well,
yes,
then that right there. F
I work
minus
in Mac.
vidIQ. Boo.
I
I'm just kidding.
no. I have total respect for everybody at TubeBuddy. I expect it back. Damn it.
No, you're not even at
But
TubeBuddy anymore, so I don't know why you're
I
defending.
know. I know. Well, truth. I just I just I cringe a little bit, because it's like I don't want to say the wrong thing sometimes.
I
Like, if you're
understand.
like
You are
still
fine.
loyal to TubeBuddy, I've never been a TubeBuddy fan except for you and Rob. Rob Balasavis. I love you too. I mean, like, I watched you guys like when you were on TubeBuddy.
Well, thank
So,
you.
and I still watch you. I just don't always say a lot, because I still come in here and lurk. Um, because I don't want to cross a line,
No,
either
you
with
were
you
fine.
or with my job too, because I work with the coaches on Max. In fact, the training that I'm going through right now is to become a coach for Max. So um I don't want to like cross some kind of boundary, and so I kind of just like lurk in the shadows, and I'll be like, every once in a while I'll pop up, no, or
Is
yes,
that
go for
is
it.
that vidIQ's coaching thing, Max? You keep mentioning.
Max, yeah, Max is the group coaching, and then we have the one-on-one coaching.
Well, look, you're not
But
stepping on my toes. I think you guys have some really high level creatives that are doing great work. I've always been a create for creators. So
mm-hmm,
no, you're not going to step on my toes. In fact, if you ever
okay,
want to mention it, if people need it, feel free. Obviously,
okay.
within reason, don't bring it up every moment. But
Oh,
no, I don't.
no.
You're not
I
going
don't
to step
even
on
like
my
bringing it up.
toes. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been on TubeBuddy in a while, so no, we try to
Yeah.
do whatever we can to help creators. So if you want to bring it up organically, feel free. But to
Okay.
your point, which is your avatar, you have the idea, you have your avatar down, you kind of have the
Mhm.
ideal person. The thing
Mhm.
about an avatar is when your life changes, it's okay to change your avatar a bit, right?
Mhm.
So, what I would say is you now have a very unique perspective. I think you can still maintain your lives. I do think, you have some shorts and you do have videos. I think that shorts are easier, especially data wise.
Right.
I
I just don't like making shorts.
and if
I
that's
I just ugh.
hey, I was on shorts at first. I will admit. But I realize if I can help an artist or creative in any medium, I want to do it. And I know how
Right.
passionate you are. And there's no one like you in that vertical. And it helps. You can do shorts and videos while you're having a little issues with the streaming. It gives your audience and, your perfect avatar places to watch and enjoy. What I would
True.
say is you could do unique shorts like from an artist point of view, like how like since you're traveling, like how do I balance being an artist while traveling? Like that's unique. Should you travel with your art? Like that's something I've been asked before and I never knew a great answer, but you now have a unique perspective where you could answer that. So I think that you shouldn't be afraid to evolve with like how your life is evolving. And if you still keep that avatar, just always keep her in mind when you're making the content. If
Yeah.
what would they need to know? What have you had to learn? There is so much overlap between those two things.
Okay. That's something that someone because I've asked my fellows and I've asked other friends and they're like, yeah, you could do that or you could start a new channel. And I'm like, I don't want to do 2 channels. I already got too much stuff going on. And you put a unique perspective on it. And that's why I wanted to come ask, is because I'm trying to see it through her eyes and see it through perspective other hers, if that makes sense. I always say, you're 1 in a million. That means that there's 600,000 people just, very similar to you. So 600,000 people watching my content, that'd be amazing, So that's how I break it down in my head and justify what I do in my own brain, because I'm a Capricorn and I have to have, I have to be steadfast and have a
So you're a
purpose.
January baby?
December 30th.
You're early cap.
Yeah, I'm mid cap.
Hey, I'm an early Leo. I get it.
My daughter's a Leo, but anyway, so I just, you just brought in a bunch of new ideas for me to because one of the struggles that I'm having is I can't order on Amazon anymore. Unless I know where I'm going to be in a week and I can have an Amazon pickup space or a friend that lives locally that I can have my stuff delivered
That's a
to.
great
I can't
video though.
I can't order on Amazon anymore. That's like or Dick Blick or any I can't order online anymore. I have to go to a physical place. So that's one of my struggles right now, and I'm like, well,
that's
how
a
do I make that?
but that's a great video. How to buy art supplies not from Amazon. It can
Right.
still be done. Here's where you recommend.
Right. Any place but Hobby Lobby.
Oh, I understand that one. Also, I want to Straw Hat Luffy. I understand if you don't understand the joke. I was the first ever TubeBuddy employee, which is like TubeBuddy and vidIQ for some reason. Like everyone has put beef between us, but actually working there, we all get along. It's like the weirdest thing. It's like, why don't you? I remember this once. I was once, so why don't you hate vidIQ? I'm like, because they're doing good. Why should I? Like, it's a weird question. How do you answer? Why don't you hate someone? I don't. Why? What?
We're both helping. The way I look at it is we're both helping creators, and we both have similar tools.
And hey, YouTube's gonna kill all the tools anyway. So
eventually, yeah, because they don't want us stealing their API.
We're all going down the same route.
Exactly. And it's just and I think that's why vidIQ is more focusing on the coach approach, more of the AI coach and the human coach
you guys,
and all that stuff.
You were making the smart move. I will say that. And I was it's weird because I remember I was publicly I was on TubeBuddy's live stream and yeah, use what works best for you. And people are like, he's such a shill for vidIQ. I'm like, how?
What?
How?
How does that even happen? I'm sorry, but I chose vidIQ. I chose vidIQ over TubeBuddy 3.5 years ago for one reason. Because vidIQ had a easier platform for me to understand because I'm not an analytic mind.
And that's fine.
Now, if and that's what I tell people, whatever tool works best for you. whether you use Craftsman tools or, something you off-brand that you buy at Home Depot. It doesn't matter as long as you get your job done. That's, that's the way I look at it. So,
I will
but
say though, I've never used vidIQ, so it'd be very hard for me to give an honest review. People are like, "What are your real thoughts?" I'm like, "I've never used it," so like, I
well, you
couldn't
want to
give you
use
anything.
it? You want to use it? You let me know. If you want to take it for a test run, you let me know. I'll get you hooked up. And not
I
what you
use
know.
vidIQ.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
You know what I recommend though? I recommend doing it now, just kidding. But no, there are free tools. Like I always tell people this, they're both free tools. Use what works
Mhm,
best for you. That answer
mhm.
from me has not changed. However, what has changed is people are like, "Why don't you hate them?" And it's still the weirdest question because
Right. I can't believe they asked you that. I really can't. Good
like how.
Lord.
But I think what we've come to is that it is okay to evolve your content with your circumstance. And your
Okay.
circumstance gives you such a unique reflection point. And I don't think you have to make a new channel about it, but I do think you have to give yourself leeway and that you can't be too married. And if anyone doesn't understand what the avatar is, it is like the ideal audience personified.
Mhm.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So she'll understand.
Right.
What she won't understand is if you don't post anything. Then she's upset and I'm
Right.
upset and
No,
then no one's
yeah.
happy.
No one. Yeah. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. And my avatar's a mama. So
Yes.
But I do still do my live streams on Wednesdays right now. After Vid Summit is when I'm going to hunker down and watch a lot of Daniel, watch a lot of Jay, watch a lot of people so I can learn how to do DaVinci Resolve again. Because I sat down the other day to try and just do a quick edit, and I couldn't even remember where I put stuff. It's just like, oh, good Lord. So, but there are a lot of tools now that help you to make shorts, and I'm gonna do the Am I the A-hole readovers when I'm doing some of my speed ups of my art, and also some like quick clips of where I'm going or where I've been and those kind of things.
And
I
honestly,
just don't want to get I don't want to get too scattered. But I have ADHD. I'm a
you
Capricorn with
should.
ADHD. Imagine that.
I would remix if I were you. Like, look into remix, look into Opus, like, look into your existing content where you can
Hmm.
share moments that people need to hear that you've already done. You're not reinventing the wheel, you're just introducing new people to it.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I often explain to people, like, do you think the wheel just happened? Someone had to introduce someone else to the wheel, which is a crazy concept
Right.
with how much we are aware of the wheel nowadays. The wheel being the actual physical wheel, like on cars, chairs. There
Right.
are a lot of wheels. But the point is, I think that you have, you know, I've been a fan of yours for a while. I think this is this. I've told you this personally. I've told you this in
Hmm.
person. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that
You looked me in the eye, and I knew you weren't lying to me or blowing sunshine. So that's cool. I appreciate that, and that's why I wanted to ask you because the last time I asked you for help, you put a whole new like vision in my head, and it evolved, and yeah. So.
well, I think you're doing great work. And what I want to, just tell you is like you're going to get out of this better than ever. You're with people that believe in you at vidIQ. You have
Hmm.
people here that believe in you. Don't be afraid to share your voice here. We have no beef at vidIQ.
Okay.
So feel free. And hey, if you
Okay.
ever want to, be featured in our newsletter, if there's something you think would make sense for us to post, let us know.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. And just so you know, the newsletter that y'all put out, I put that on my Discord too, on my personal Discord, my Artist Haven Discord. And a lot of people are like, "Hey, I didn't know that." I'm like, "Well, didn't you read the newsletter?" "Oh yeah, it's there." And so I've got some new readers for it. Not very
Well,
many, but a few.
well, thank you. And
Absolutely.
I just wanted to say that I'm very proud of you for working towards coaching and all of that. It's so rewarding. I love doing this because it takes no effort to be kind.
Nope. Zero. Zero effort to be a nice person and to help people be the best they can be. So.
Exactly. So I can't wait to see those content. Maybe try Opus. Maybe vidIQ's got some AI tool like that helps you do clips. If not, there's so many out there. I know StreamYard does. You could do it in DaVinci when you learn it. So there's so many options for you.
Awesome. I appreciate your help.
Of course, and I appreciate your friendship and time.
I will talk to you soon. I'll see you soon. I hope.
I won't be at Vid Summit.
Oh, what?
I'm sorry. This has been like I keep telling people this, and they're all disappointed, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
It's not gonna be Vid Summit without you.
Well,
Oh,
thank you.
my dreams are dashed.
Well, I mean, I've been to 7, and I have you know I don't no one no one, I don't have a sponsor anymore, you know, so it makes it a lot more. It's not so
Oh.
cheap, and I got bills to pay. You think these lights stay on without Opus Clip? They do actually, but that's not the point. But I wish you all the best. I know vidIQ and TubeBuddy and everyone there is going to have a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see photos, videos, etc.
Well, I'll be sure to take you in a couple of videos just because I'll miss you.
You
So,
should.
yeah.
And share them here. We'd love to see them.
okie dokie.
All right, take care.
Well, either way, I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Exactly. And I think the last person, I mean, Robbae, I didn't get to talk to you in the stream. And then there is Straw Hat. Is that it?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. We'll try with Robbae. Are you near a computer? What's your question, I guess? Is it Robbae? I never know.
Hi. Can you hear me good?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I'm doing great. Such a pleasure to share my voice with y'all.
Well, thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, it's Robbae.
Robbae.
Sometimes I fumble it too sometimes though.
Oh, so it's just literally phonetic. Robbae.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, it was a nickname that was given to me a while back ago, and I was like, wow, I really like this. I used to be known as like Watch Me Do It Big. That's kind of like the name I had chosen for myself at 13, and then over time it's evolved.
I understand that. So, what's your question? I know we looked at your channel earlier, or we specifically SEO. Do you have any questions specifically around that, or just generally curious?
I guess it's a little bit more general curiosity. If it's too far off topic, that's perfectly fine. But I forgot who it was, but between you and Ike, I remember I had given live streaming a try. I absolutely fell in love with live streaming. It's actually what I prefer. It's actually why I haven't posted videos on my YouTube, but I'm trying to find a good blend or some general feedback on what it is that I could do to merge the best of both worlds, because I've always loved YouTube. I go to YouTube for just about everything, but I also love the live streaming platform. So I've been kind of looking here and there. Like I looked like at Asmongold, if you know of him.
Very familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen his like what he does, where he posts like his live streams on his channel
And highlights and things like that.
Right.
I think that that's a great idea, especially if where are you streaming to, if you don't mind me asking?
So I was only doing kick streaming. I tried Twitch. Not exactly in love with Twitch. It's something I will revisit. And I also just literally moved this week, and I went from 2 like megabytes per second to 200 with 100 upload, which is great. It's a dramatic change. So there's more I can do now.
Well, congratulations on that, because I've gone from dial-up in my lifetime to high streaming, so I understand slow internet. So I would say for you, especially since you have a lot of long format content, there are like plugins for OBS that let you create like shorts while you're streaming. There are things like Opus that is getting better for gamers specifically. So why not try shorts as well as doing moments and clips, because that lets your channel have content. And if you do like a long series let's play, you could just break up the moments and edit around some of the things, and you're like, I'm going to be talking to chat in this, but if you want to be part of chat, come join me live, whatever your schedule is. So I think
that's a great idea.
because I think like if you're passionate about it, go for it. Go all in, because you have a very, and I mean this lovingly, you have a very great personality. And I can tell just by talking to you, seeing the videos I've seen of you, like you're eager to learn. Your audience, I've seen you've interacted with them, it works really well. And I agree with what 30 Days Reviews says, or as I learned recently, you know, your never ending live stream title name, insert here, Ember Media Skies Prim Can, you know? So there's lots of ways that you can split up your topics, post. I think that you should also just make a video explaining, hey, I really am enjoying streaming. Here's what we're going to be doing. Here's the state of things. Just so people already on your channel understand. And that you can also point, here's where I'm live. I go live. I'd make it pretty quick. I'd make it under 2 minutes. Make it your channel trailer. So you can say, if you want to keep watching on YouTube, I recommend clicking this playlist. And the beauty of not being specific is you can change it over time. And you also point to your live stream. So it does everything you need it to do. It lets you keep streaming. You have your YouTube pointing to your stream. And if you bring people from your stream to your YouTube, you can build it around that too.
Okay, that sounds actually really good. Sorry, I was writing it down as you're saying it.
No worries.
I'm a big note taker. I have like this little cute big notepad that I write everything down on.
Hey, I respect it.
Yeah, no worries. If you miss something, I'll have the VOD up for you.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we're editing
Thanks.
out all the vidIQ stuff, so sorry if you need it.
There's just a big censor version.
No, no worries. I completely understand. I also wanted to ask you, I know you were telling me about like my tags and stuff like that. I was a little confused. I just wanted to get clarification. So, like, for example, my title, I understood what you meant when you were talking about the order and how I should or go about titling my videos. The transcript part bit was a little confusing.
Sure. So here, I'm going to pull up your channel and kind of explain how YouTube is going to see it. So anytime I
Okay.
give feedback, I always look at it in two ways. How would an audience perceive this? And how would YouTube look at it? Because the audience needs to understand it when they watch and enjoy. I'm going to share my screen here so you can see what I'm talking about. But when there isn't an audience, not saying that you don't have one, you obviously have the 9 people view this video, and some people, they're like, oh, only 9 people. I'm like, if 9 people were in front of you right now, you'd be a little overwhelmed. At least I would. And it only gets worse at
True.
scale. So when I look at the way YouTube would look at this, they want to see that you are saying everything that you have listed in your title within the first, really, it used to be, we used to think it was 30. Really, YouTube has said it's the first 15. So like if you're saying you're playing, Cassette Beasts, they want to see, I'm not sure how good this transcript is. It is auto, but hey lovers, welcome back to Cassette Beasts. YouTube was using this transcript to make sure whatever you titled the video is actually happening in the video.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense.
So the intro is that more important, because if you don't say Cassette Beast until like 3 minutes in on a 22-minute video, it's too late.
Oh, wow. Okay. That is very helpful. I was thinking like, so let's say I'm making a video. I'm not sure if this would be any issue. So like if I'm showing my video and I like create a specific introduction, you think that's something that could help highlight those small elements that make overall big change into like for the YouTube algorithm?
Well, it's not so when we say the YouTube algorithm, that is YouTube like trying to put your content out there. That's more specifically YouTube looking to make sure you're delivering on what you're promising.
Okay.
When you're doing that, what you're really doing is helping your audience know they're getting exactly what they signed up for. You're not baiting and switching them.
Okay.
But I think, like I said in the review, like you have a really strong grasp of tags, just kind of organically including them here. I still, you've had time since that review. Where are the episode 1 and 2 links? Huh? I'm only giving you a hard time. 1,
No,
because
it's fine.
you
That's
can take
perfectly
it,
fine.
and 2, I can tell how passionate you are about it. And the reason I harp on the little things is it's because sometimes it's the fundamentals that when we don't practice 100% is when we start making mistakes, and it's how you practice matters so much. And I think that, moving forward for you, like this change you can make after this, and Ike, if not, we're just gonna at you in front of everyone. I'm just kidding, but we're not gonna do that. But I will be disappointed. You had all day. Jokes aside,
Gotcha.
I just wanted to make sure you understand, because like you should think, am I giving the most possible to help YouTube send this to the right people, to help people who are
Hmm.
interested in this find it? And a lot of times, even me, as I showed earlier in the stream, I made a couple of mistakes on some old stuff, and I'm still learning. Like, it's okay to still be learning. I love learning when I care about the subject. But the point is, you're doing a lot right, and I don't want you to not keep improving, because you've done so much right already. It can only get better.
Right. Okay. I completely agree. No, I understand completely. I love checklisting, so all those little things that can help matter so much to me too.
Yeah, and this is where like an external tool like TubeBuddy or vidIQ, a lot of them have best practice checks. So you're like, okay, did I do this? Oh, I haven't done this. It just lets you know what you have or haven't done, and that's one of those things. This is actually a free TubeBuddy feature. I'm assuming vidIQ has a free equivalent, but it
Okay.
just helps you make sure you're dotting all your I's, crossing all your T's.
Okay. And if I may, just like one more, like
Sure.
one of my more major questions. So I'm my name, ThisisRobbae, is basically a rebrand from my previous like dances with social media, quite literally.
Hmm.
I used to be like a EDM, electronic dance music festival influencer, so I would do like fashion, go to the events, and that's what my content mainly on Instagram was based off of. And I like kind of when I rebranded myself and I cleaned out my digital footprint for the most part, I recreated all my social media platforms and I kept my Instagram for Watch Me Do It Big, and everything else is just either changed or new for ThisisRobbae.
Hmm.
For the audience I have on there, I is do you recommend or do you think it'd be a good idea to try finding maybe like little bridges and bringing over some of that previous audience over? Because I know a lot of like my audience consists of a lot of the LGBTQ plus community. I have a lot of like people who obviously listen to EDM who also game, and I was thinking maybe do I either change my, or if you suggest, do I change that platform into ThisisRobbae, or do I keep those two like particularly Instagram accounts separate?
From a creative perspective,
Mm-hmm.
I would keep in mind that there is some overlap. I would create not so much bridges, but one-way streets to from the old Instagram to the new. You can still keep the old, but for the people that will care, you're giving them one-way lanes to follow you in a different way. I often say it's like school. There's going to be a subject you're not going to love, and whenever it's forced on people, they tend not to react well. Not saying that you're trying to, it's just human nature. I
Right.
would say give the like you can keep what you have there, make a new one, create those one-way bridges for those people, because those people, if they're gonna keep following you, it's one way, meaning like it's one more way they can follow you, not one way like literally the street.
Oh,
So
okay. Thank you for the clarification.
of course. And so I just want to make sure, because I often say this, a lot of times people make that mistake where they try to make a new audience and they end up losing both. They don't keep anyone. So the worst thing you can do is isolate your audience and give them, things they're not asking for. Like if I'm in the middle of a cooking show and all of a sudden it changes into like music production, I'm like, whoa, 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 I'm here for cooking. And vice versa. If you're at an EDM festival and all of a sudden the DJ pulled out pulled out a flat iron and is like, today I'm cooking for you, you'd be very disappointed. I'd be very confused.
I'd be confused as well.
But what if he starts cooking while the EDM is playing?
Well, that could be unique, and there might be some people who like it, but I'm not sure. I'm not
But
sure
right,
long term.
I get what you're saying though. The audience there is there because of the music, right? So
Yeah. Like, how would you feel in the middle of an EDM concert if you started doing math equations? You'd be like,
whoa, hold up. This is not what I paid for.
Exactly. So keep that in mind. And that's when I love that question because it shows you're thinking of your audience the right way. You care about them. And it's good
Yeah,
that you do. But you don't want to ever isolate or not on purpose, but unintentionally make them feel like, oh, he doesn't care anymore. It's
right.
finding
That's
ways
so important to me.
it's finding ways to show that you still care, but you also are multifaceted. And that is what I think you can do with the two of them.
Okay. Thank you. That was so much great insight. There was just so many questions like that in my mind, so I really appreciate it.
I definitely I was laughing because I see back in my day they called it techno. You know,
Oh
music
yeah,
will change.
that's still the genre. I just gave the overlapping name for it.
Well, I mean, my only experience with EDM was with any kind of sort in that world was one time I was at the YouTube Spaces for a work thing and I ran into Marshmello in the bathroom and he had his like get up on and I just realized I'd never heard his real voice and he goes, "Oh, sorry." And I'm like, "Wait, why are you here? What are you?" So that was my one like encounter in that world at all.
Oh, that's a very good encounter, if I might say.
It was
I
very
never got
random.
to meet him, but I danced for him one time.
Well, there you go. But I think that what you've learned from that experience with that other audience and building it and like what you like is like that same enthusiasm and passion can be used for what you're doing in this new sphere with streaming and like don't like those things that made you unique there still make you unique in gaming and that you could be in streaming like you could help people find new music that they may not know of and that's a unique angle you have never like you were giving great advice to the artist Haven earlier about what makes you unique. Don't forget what makes you unique too. You can combine those two loves in a way that could be true to both because a lot of streamers stream with music in the background. And so if you can find a way to organically and naturally include that music in a copyright free and or way that is giving credit to the artist, that's a unique factor that no one else has that you do.
Okay. Oh, that's so helpful. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And with that, I'm going to see if Straw Hat needs anything. But thank you so much for being active here on the Discord and to your communities. We do
Of
appreciate it.
course. It's so amazing to be a part of this community. I've learned so much, and I can't wait to grow and grow with everyone else on here.
Can't wait
Thank
to
you
see it.
guys.
I want to see you hold that silver play button someday.
Oh, most definitely. It's happening.
All right. Well, I'll hold you to it.
Yes.
Take care. All right. And Straw Hat, do you want to come up? I know we had some issues with mobile and Sicshop, and hopefully we figure that up. I'm very new to YouTube. Joined 2 weeks ago. Can you look into my SEO if I'm doing it right or not? And any advice is appreciated. So did you post specifically? I'm assuming it's linked to your. Is it linked? Yeah, you're about me. It's linked on your channel. Gonna go ahead and take a look, Mr. Fantastic. So looking here, I'm seeing live, One Piece reactions. Like that was one of the first things I saw. I'm gonna look at your most recent video 3 hours ago. One thing I will tell you is I noticed an intro, and I say this to anyone with an intro. I think you had a perfect length at 3 to 5 minutes there, or 3 to 5 seconds, not minutes. Just make sure that you're not losing people, and you can look at that in your analytics to make sure they're not dropping off. So, looking here, one of the first thing I think that you have who's fighting and the series. I think this is pretty solid. One thing I would say is feel free to like have fun with some emojis to help this stand out, especially like when it's a full fight. You can have like a boxing glove or whatever you want for that specifically. I would also comment. I wouldn't be afraid to comment and say, hey, if you enjoyed this full fight, maybe you can say reaction or whatever you want to do. I see you have reaction here. Like, as someone who does reactions, I think they should probably also put reaction here. What do you think?
Yes, he should.
Because
Specifically, if he's putting like Jujutsu Kaisen, he should put like reaction behind it.
And it also helps people who like that content really see you well there too. I do have to say, your tags are great and they're matching what the title is. Just make sure, because I'm gonna check your description next. It looks like you're doing this, but yes, you are. Don't tag stuff. This is what is on YouTube called tag stuffing. It is against terms of service. Remove it like now. This specifically is designed to be here, not in the description. You can have tags in your description if you write them organically as sentences. So you can, like, you have them kind of, so you have, I'm assuming Gojo and Toji, or Gojo, I'm assuming that's correct. I could be wrong. So find ways to include them organically. You could say Gojo and Toji from Jujutsu Kaisen. It might seem a little redundant, but on YouTube it's relevant. I do love that you have other videos they can watch specifically, and they all seem, instead of my videos, these kind of all seem, I would be more specific. Check out other reaction videos so that people, one, YouTube knows, okay, this is a reaction video, you're telling it multiple times what it is. The more you can do that, the better. I also want to check your transcript, right? Because, hey, everyone, welcome to my channel today. We're going to react to. So keep in mind that you want to try to get as quick into the reaction as possible. And you can see what this is like in your retention graph. I think this is a really good intro because you mention it. I would say that, again, that first 30 seconds, the quicker you can get to the title organically, which you have done masterfully, always the better. So I would say get rid of this because it can get you in terms of service issues on YouTube. Your tags, incredible. Maybe consider chapters if it makes sense. Maybe moments in the fight. You don't have to like spoil anything, but something to consider if it makes sense. If not, don't worry about it. Other than that, I think I would get rid of the space here because YouTube looks at the first 200 characters. And because you have a little bit of the space, it's a little weird for YouTube to read. Like, this should just be up here to help as much as possible. Other than that, really solid. I think just maybe include reaction in the title. I think, I just want to make sure that what I'm seeing here is correct and it's not YouTube being weird. So if I go to default view, yep, everything looks good here. Can't really complain. You're doing a lot right. My biggest gripe is this is against terms of service. Get rid of it. If it's in other videos, remove it. You don't want, all it takes is a couple of flags from users to take a channel down, as we've all learned on YouTube over time. So just trying to make sure. I don't think you did this maliciously. Most people don't know it. With that though, I mean, I'll go ahead and quickly give you a grade. I think, looking here, you're doing a lot right. I mean, this is a very easy case for a B+ to an A- for me. I'm actually going to give you a B+ because of the accidental terms of service break. So thank you so much for the opportunity to look. Ike, anything else you'd add to that?
No, I think you did good.
And guys and gals and animal pals and anyone out there, you're listening to the Unwanted Podcast, the only podcast where this is your chance to leave. Ike and I are closing down this stage. Thank you so much. We talked about a lot today, a lot of different names, a lot of different people, had a lot of fun. If you want to get any help or feedback, we do these bi-weekly. Ike, after this, will probably put up the next event where you can join. We're also going to be asking for feedback. We appreciate everyone being here today. Thank you for listening to the Unwanted Podcast, the only podcast you didn't ask for or want. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Andrew, why aren't they leaving?
I don't know. It's like they didn't get the memo. I think they just really love our intro music. All right, guys, take care.